the other day. Somebody sent it to me. They go, what does every Southern girl say the colors for her wedding are? Blush and bashful, 2 shades of pink. but that is truly a blush shade of pink. And then it drops down into the center. You're getting 3 rows of that gorgeous pink pearl. We have the earrings in clipped or pierced. Heidi, I don't know what it is, but it seems like every single time I'm thinking of all the things that Heidi has done in pink, and she doesn't do that many pink pieces. No. I remember the big heart that you did, the heart with the mosaic heart that you did in pink.
Yes.
We had the enamel shell that we had in pink. Everything we do in pink, I say we. It's like I'm right there with her. I just take ownership of these beautiful pieces because I get so excited. But everything you do in pink happens to resonate with our girls.
Oh, well, it sure does. I mean, and it's very difficult to find really good-looking pink jewelry.
Right.
You know, it could go horribly wrong very fast. But, you know, when you're working with this whisper pink pearl that is so feminine and so just a beautiful, beautiful shade that looks so lovely on everybody's skin tone. I don't care if you're, you know, if you're 21 or you're 101. That color pink looks beautiful on every girl. And then, of course, the bleeding heart, which is a flower. You know, right now, back home, everybody's buying their annuals to plant, and there's all the impatiens are everywhere. And the bleeding heart baskets are also everywhere to hang on your front porches. And that really is, if we can go in and we can do a close-up of that beautiful bleeding heart center pendant, you can see how we've really recreated the beautiful, astonishing flower of nature.
Oh, yeah, it does. It looks like it's dripping, just like the real flower.
Yeah, it really does. And the leaves, you can see the twisted leaves in the different colors of green.
And Heidi, I don't want to interrupt you, but I've got to let everybody know, we do still have clipped or pierced in the earrings. We have 90 of them. So it's funny because I hope you get both, but even if you just want to do the earrings, only 90 people can do it. So there is a possibility that these could sell out with that limited quantity. You do have, even if you choose the pierced, you have the omega back.
Yes.
So you've got that support. And usually you don't see omega back earrings at $79. And omega back is much more expensive to do because there's a hinge mechanism involved. It's usually something that's reserved for earrings that are hundreds of dollars.
Absolutely. You know, it is a little extra step that we bring to you, and it gives you that little extra support. And by the way, if you ever, you know, if you have an earring, a hole in your ear that might be too low or stretched out, and you want to wear your pierced earrings, what I suggest is get one of those disc backs and put it right through your post, and then flip up your omega back.
Oh, because it gives you even more support.
It sure does.
Gotcha.
So look at how pretty they are. And you know, with the pretty little, look at that light topaz, that wonderful bright yellow little drip, you know, that little center part that drips out of a bleeding heart. It is so pretty. The beautiful rose crystals from Swarovski are sparkling, and then the pink pearls just set it right off.
Okay, Jesse, you know, we have about 2 minutes remaining to shop the necklace. I think I told you this, but I want to remind you, it's 16 3/4 with a 3.5-inch extender. So that means this can go anywhere between 16 3/4 all the way down to 20 inches in the length. I'm just looking again at the dreamy color of those beautiful pink pearls. We can't get enough of those, ladies. Everything that Heidi does in the pink is always super, super popular. But this is even lighter. And you know, the funny thing about Heidi's pearls are, a lot of times if you have faux pearls, they just look like a bead. They really just look like a bead. Heidi's faux pearls look like pearls. They literally have that that iridescence, that beautiful sheen to them that a real fine pearl would have.
They do, and a hand to them.
They sure do, and they're hand knotted.
Every single one.
Okay, think of this. The reason that they hand knot pearls in real pearls is because they don't want the nacre to rub off. They don't want the surface to rub off because pearls, natural pearls, are delicate. Heidi's pearls would not rub off because they're not natural pearls, but she still puts that hallmark of quality and craftsmanship because she wants it to look and feel like the real thing. That's going the extra mile. That really is.
It really is. And you know, I do want to show you you know, the way that this piece is made, and all of the pieces to that point. When we are knotting a piece, we want to make sure that it lasts forever. And there is something out there called French wire, which I think I can show you right here. That's a little bitty piece of French wire, and that is there to protect the silk thread when we are knotting in between every single bead, and so there's not an ugly silk knot right here at the clasp. So we are knotting away, come up through the clasp, and we cut a little bitty piece of that French wire, which is like a slinky, and then come back down and put it through and knot it so it's absolutely seamless. You can't see where it stops and starts. It is really made like the finest high jewelers in the world would finish their jewelry. So, and paved on the back as well as the front, beautifully made.
Okay, I hope you can do that one.